St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
As of this recording, it's St. Patrick's Day. So I wore my green in honor
I see that.
of St. Patrick's Day. So I either look like a leprechaun or the Jolly Green Giant. I'm not
Unfortunately,
sure which one.
I was really hoping to be able to pinch you because that would be fun.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you.
If
can
you're not
pinch
wearing
me.
green, I guess
Sure.
technically you get pinched.
So yeah. Oh. If you're not, so I should be pinching you.
I have green eyes. Thank you very much.
That doesn't count. It's like what you're wearing. Hello.
I always hated that when I was in school.
Would they do that?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Like, that was like, everybody's running around pinching each other. I'm like, if you pinch me, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, stop messing
That's
with me.
funny. Yeah, well, so it's a big deal to my son-in-law. He's Irish, so it's a big deal to him today.
Is he wearing green today?
I don't know because he doesn't live around here, but is it like corned beef and cabbage night or something like that? Yeah. One time I did that, and only one.
No, thank you.
Just the corned beef and never again. Not the cabbage. But
I can't do cabbage.
Anyhow, so happy St. Patrick's Day. So Sonic has a deal going on, some sort of a slushy drink for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
So listen to this scam I got going. Last week they gave me the wrong slushy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they're giving me a free one in replacement. So I'm thinking on my way home today, going by and get this special one for St. Patrick's Day. Bada-ching! Free.
What is the special one?
It's like it's got some sour candies in it.
Okay.
And I'm
like
sure
a
it's
sour
green.
apple, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. And I'm sure it's green and whatever, but I don't care. It's free. It's going to be free.
That's a fair point.
And so I noticed you're usually drinking your sweet tea.
I am.
And as I put my computer screen down, I noticed you have this reddish color. Can you tell us about it? A little red drink, which I think is very manly once you explain it.
Oh, trust me. When I was sitting in line and this is the only thing that I got, yeah, it's like, okay, this is awkward.
Yeah, so tell us what it is.
Yeah, so I got an email this morning from our local Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Just you or other people, you think?
Well, I guess whoever is whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Subscribes.
Yeah, and I could go today only. I'm guessing for St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
And you could get like their strawberry hibiscus flavored drink or whatever. And so you have like 4 or 5 different options.
Okay.
And so you can either get it like strawberry hibiscus tea, strawberry hibiscus lemonade, strawberry hibiscus Sprite, or strawberry hibiscus something. I don't know what the other one was. The only one that was not available was like the frozen lemonade.
Oh, right. Strawberry hibiscus frozen lemonade. Did they miss the memo that it was supposed to be a green drink today? Yeah.
Well, I think they're really pushing the strawberry thing right now. So I was like, you know what? I like strawberries.
Spring-ish. Yeah, strawberry spring.
I struggled because I didn't know if I wanted to do the strawberry lemonade or the strawberry Sprite.
So you got the
Sprite? I did the strawberry Sprite.
Yeah. Do you taste the hibiscus? Do you even know what a hibiscus tastes like?
No.
No, I don't either.
No, I taste the strawberry.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's not bad. It's probably not something
I would. Not bad, but it's not good.
It's probably not something I would regularly get.
Okay.
And see, and I don't like fruity tea either. So like Pal's has like a peach tea. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Well, that's just like a little
give me a sweet tea. Well, yeah. So I don't like.
I'm a little disappointed in you today that you'd be drinking a strawberry hibiscus Sprite. But anyway, whatever floats your ice cubes in your cup there.
What's floating right now?
Yeah, well, that's awesome. But all right, so again, happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy strawberry hibiscus Sprite infused whatever day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I went a little earlier in hair and makeup. I was in there, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do with you until you get a haircut and just get trimmed up." Yeah. So right now I have like what I call helmet hair.
Okay.
I feel like it's a helmet of hair on my head. So I can't wait to let's buzz this sucker down again.
I don't think it looks bad.
No, it looks horrible. I can't stand it. If I have to comb it, it's terrible. And at this point, I have to
comb that? Like there's enough to comb?
Can we cut? We need to cut for a minute. Just cut this video because we're going to have an argument. Yes, I comb my hair. You don't comb yours?
No, I wear a hat every single day of my life.
That's because you don't comb it. No, I do comb. This has to be combed forward. Cause you're combing it forward to try to cover more.
The receding hairline?
Yeah, the receding hairline. All 3 hairs I can get to come forward. No, I do comb my hair. But when it's short, I don't have to. And it's aggravating to me when I have to comb it.
This just seems like a lot of work.
That's why.
That's why
I'd rather just buzz it down. But anyhow,
that's why I just put a hat on.
I'm hoping to get an appointment with my barber today when I get home. I live with my barber, by the way. Let me clear that up. I said it on purpose. Yes, my barber is also my wife.
There you go. Thank you.
And my wife is also my barber, and however other ways you can put that. Yes, but I'm hoping to get an appointment with her this evening. So, we're not live, so she won't hear this live. But yes. I'm hoping you get that accomplished.
Gotcha.
So I look much better when I return on camera. Anyway, I think that's all we have to cover. Let me think. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I did want to
Okay.
address. It's like a warning to other people, not just
Okay.
to you. If
Not
you're,
just to me.
well, it's not really to you, but it's about you.
Oh.
If your leader, because I
Okay.
don't want to call you my boss, because my boss is Jesus, and I don't want to demote him from boss.
Okay.
You understand?
Sure.
And I don't want you to get a larger head. So if this is a warning to anybody out there, if your leader in your place of work takes you for a lunch,
Yeah.
a nicer lunch, not the McDonald's, a little upper scale, Applebee's, which is like just up above McDonald's.
What?
And offers to
That's
pay.
not just up.
Okay,
above
2 up from McDonald's. No.
Maybe 4.
Okay, 4 up from McDonald's. Could have been Chili's. But anyhow, if they want to take
I
you
gave
to
you
a
the
lunch,
option.
you did. And the others, I let others pick because I'm that type of person. Anyhow, if they want to pay for your meal,
Right.
like your higher up wants to pay for your meal,
Okay.
don't ever think it's just because they want to pay for your meal and be nice. They will, somewhere along the line, they're going to get you. And that's what happened to us last week.
I don't
You
understand
took
what
us
you're
to
talking
Applebee's, didn't even give us like the select menu. You let us pick anything we wanted, which I thought was gracious. And I'm thinking, there's something going on here. Sure enough.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Treats us one day, works us the next day. So that's a warning to everybody out there. If you're higher up, your boss, your leader, your whatever is being like overly generous, and you're like, something's up here.
Right.
What's wrong with him? Is he sick, dying? What? Yeah. Well, he's going to work you like a
I mean,
a raccoon is what I like to say. Work me like a raccoon the next day.
is it possible that your leader,
Yes,
not your
leader.
boss,
Yeah, leader, right.
that your leader,
Higher up.
that your higher up, simply was like, hey, you know what? These guys have been working really hard. I want to treat them to lunch today for their good efforts.
And I think there is some of that in there. I felt some of that.
Okay.
Right? I want to treat them. Let's back up. You just said these guys have been working really hard, which
Right.
I appreciate you acknowledging the hard work.
Sure.
Okay, we've been
And the
working
time.
really hard,
The
and the
time.
time,
Yep.
the few hours that I give. I want to treat them for their hard work.
Exactly.
That is so sweet of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
it's so sweet.
I appreciate that. Wow.
So you treat us to a lunch for our hard work, and
Yeah.
then you work us even harder. That was probably really loud, and I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate because I don't think your lunch was because of what we did. Your lunch was making you feel better for what you were going to make us do. There, I said it. And I feel better now, and we can get on with the episode. I've been harboring this since last week, and that hamburger I had wasn't that good for all the work I had to do the next day.
Wow.
Can somebody call in? I need somebody
It
to call in and
sounds
help.
like you have been harboring
I
this.
have.
Wow, a lot
I
of
have.
pent up energy.
Okay, I'm
and-
just kidding. We had a blast. We did go to Applebee's, and I had this amazing burger that I would do it again.
So,
I won't work as hard as you made me work the next day, but I will allow you to take me there again.
well, the thing is,
On you.
So, like, you're busting me about taking you guys out to lunch,
Yes.
and then we're going to go back and work, right?
Yeah.
You were practically useless after you ate that.
Well, I did it on purpose. I'm like, I see where this is going.
So really, it ended
that's it.
up
I'm going
hurting
to
me
eat.
more because not
Right.
only did I have to pay for it, but then
You had to pay for it.
I had to pay for it
Yeah,
with
because
your
you're going
lack
to get nothing
of
out of me
labor.
because I think I'm going to die. No, anyway. All right, let's get on with our episode. But
So-
I think we've kind of...
So speaking of work and
Here we
labor,
go.
and
Here we go. Another free lunch? Yeah.
No, not today. So speaking of work
Yeah.
and labor,
Did I help?
you,
Kind of a
you
introduction
definitely,
here?
yeah, you definitely brought it in because today we're going to be talking about that very same
Work.
thing. We're talking about work, but more so, we're going to be talking about work ethic
Yes.
and like initiative, not being lazy or a sluggard, those kind of things.
Sluggard.
Exactly. So, like the title of this episode is called "Consider the Ant," and so really what we're doing is we're going to Proverbs chapter 6. We're looking at that passage and then just kind of breaking that down and talking about these concepts of work and labor and laziness and procrastination, those types of things. Just because one, I think it is an issue that we deal with on a regular basis,
Right.
and I think we have dealt with it. I mean, me even growing up, learning, how to work and developing a work ethic, probably the same for you. But then even now in our positions,
Yes.
even before you became a missionary, you owned your own landscaping business for 25
30, almost 30
years?
years.
Almost 30 years? Okay.
Somewhere in there, I've lost count. It's like whatever. A long time.
Exactly.
Let's put it that way.
But you've been in a position where you've had people under you, you know, employees or whatever it is, and then having to deal with either good work ethics or not so much, or having to teach people how to work and what that kind of looks like, that kind of stuff. So Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11 says, "Go to the ant, O sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber and want like an armed man." So Proverbs chapter 6, the wise teacher, who would be Solomon, the wisest man who has ever lived, and the wisest man who ever will live.
That's until you.
Well, you're sweet.
Gosh.
You stop it. You stop it.
Good.
Now you're making me blush. But he's like, hey, like if you're not going to pay attention to anything else, a wise thing that you can do is to consider the ant. Like look at the ant, how they operate, what they do, and learn from them.
Like look at the smallest. I mean, they're pretty small.
Yes,
right?
I would say so.
Yeah, look at the smallest little
Exactly.
creature.
Yep.
And study that creature.
Yeah.
And watch how it works, how it lives,
Exactly.
what it does.
And you can learn from it.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to consider the ant today
Okay.
and kind of bring out some of the different principles that are kind of talked about in that proverb, and then go from there. I think the first thing that we want to talk about is there's a specific reference to a sluggard, right? So I think sometimes when we think about the ant, we're thinking about planning, preparation, and I think those things are definitely true. But he's specifically referencing a certain type of person and saying, you, this person, you need to go pay attention to what the ant is like, right? And the person that he references is a sluggard. What exactly is a sluggard? When you first hear the word sluggard, my mind just goes to slug.
Yeah, those little slimy, little
nasty things that are just like
little,
very slow
and they
just
leave
kinda
that little
nasty
wet trail behind or
and then I
whatever.
can kill them with
Yes.
salt, which is also very enjoyable to watch, which is a little sick.
Salt in the wound type of a thing. Yeah, it's so odd. They're just gross as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And it's like, is there a purpose in this thing? Like, what is it doing? Where is it going? Where did it come from? You know, you see their little
you never
trail.
see them.
Yeah, you never. When do you ever see them? Like really? Like you know what I mean? It's
when
not
they're
like
when they're crawling on my concrete.
But I'm just saying it's like not a certain time of year. I don't think that you. Oh, it's slug season. But where did it come from?
Yeah.
And where is it going? And furthermore, what is it trying to accomplish here?
Because how come I never see any slugs until they're on my concrete?
Right.
Like I never see them in the yard.
No, right.
They
And
just
it
appear.
seems like you only see them on concrete.
Right.
Like you never see them on a wooden deck.
Nope.
You never see them. Yeah, like you said, in the grass. You never see them on any other surfaces except on concrete, going to who knows where and coming from who knows where.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're an absolute.
And they're
nuisance.
slower than a snail.
They are slower than a snail.
Maybe they're related to a snail. We'll have to do a research on that. But
Solomon in Proverbs 6, he references a sluggard, and he specifically references a sluggard, about a person who's just like lying there. You know, you're not doing anything. You're just taking up space. You're
like
just
a
kind of
couch potato.
like a couch potato. That's why I also is talking about sleep, a little slumber. When will you arise from your sleep? Like you're not doing anything. You're just laying around doing nothing. And so I guess like a synonym maybe for sluggard would be like a lazy person. Somebody who's just doesn't do anything. They just lay around all day, like you said, a couch potato.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know how to work, doesn't lift a finger to do anything.
Maybe, but do they not know how to work, or they just don't choose not to work,
or both?
Right? Yeah.
It could be all of it. Yeah,
Right.
they choose not to work. It kind of makes me think of like, you've seen those little cartoons or like cartoon strips or whatever, and like this guy is on a couch and his wife's vacuuming, and his wife has to like lift his legs up to vacuum
go
underneath because he's too lazy to even lift his legs for it. Like that's the picture that I get, with a sluggard.
Yeah, just a bum.
Yeah, just a bum who doesn't do anything.
And also in our notes here, it says slothfulness, but like a sloth.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, well, they're just about the same as a sluggard. Just slow moving.
Yep.
Not sure what their purpose is. You know, just lazy.
You know, you watch like the movies Utopia or
Mhm.
whatever, and probably my favorite scene is when like the fox and the rabbit, who are like the main characters, go into the DMV, and everybody who works in the
Is a
DMV
sloth?
are sloths.
We
It's
probably
absolutely
just
perfect.
we lost viewers on that one because I bet you somebody that works in the DMV is watches us.
Maybe, but-
subscribed and followed.
But even if they,
But they
do
know
work
it's
in the-
true.
They know it's true,
No, and let me tell you one more thing about the sloths.
which is why it
At the
fits
sloth
so well.
rescue. You know where else they work? At the post office.
That's fair.
Sorry, I have a good friend that's a postal carrier or a mail carrier or whatever their the correct term is.
No.
They've got a lot of sloths down there.
Yeah,
too.
the USPS is struggling
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like you think about a sloth or a sluggard, something like that. It's the image is then, okay, this is somebody who's lazy, who doesn't do anything,
Yeah.
who lays around, who's practically useless. From that standpoint. Not that slugs and sloths are useless, although
No, they must have a. I mean,
there's a point.
there's
to
a
them.
reason,
Yeah.
and when we get to heaven, I might ask if I ever can remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it just kind of goes back again to this principle of laziness, and slothfulness, and how much how much do we actually see that in the world?
Right.
And not only do we see it in the world, but how much of it is a temptation for us as well?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know about you. There are days where I'm like, I just want to lay around and do absolutely
Yes.
nothing.
Yesterday was one of those days. It really was.
It was a
That's-
good day for it too,
It
with the
was, 'cause
rain
it
and the
was-
snow, the nasty.
It was rather miserable out.
I would agree.
Yeah, and I woke up yesterday morning, and I had the day off. Thank you, Jesus. And but I had some things I had to accomplish. One, taking my mother to the doctor, and it was when I woke up, I was like, I feel like I could stay in bed all day,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
felt that like I really feel like I would be good enough. I
Yep.
feel good enough just to stay in bed.
Yep.
But no, I had to get out and get these things done, and it was just
Yeah.
I had to take my slug costume off and put on my I got to get some things accomplished costume. But right, there's days sometimes the weather makes you feel that way, just lazy and ugh.
Yep.
Or maybe after you've eaten a very large hamburger
Yeah.
baptized in melted cheese, that can make you feel lazy.
A little bit sluggish.
I don't know if you asked me for reasons on why you might feel lazy, but I'm going to give them to you.
So yeah, like I think there's definitely times where like you feel like this is just a good day to be lazy.
Just a good day to be lazy.
And I think we've talked about in some previous episode, like the importance of rest.
Mhm.
Like there are those days when you're like, okay, then rest,
Right.
because you need it. But what Solomon is talking about in Proverbs 6 is not that occasional, hey, this is my day of rest.
Right.
This is like a lifestyle.
It's like an ongoing
Yeah. This is an ongoing, it's a lifestyle, it's something that's habitual.
problem
where you're
issue.
where you're just like, no, I'm not going to work. I'm going to be lazy,
Right.
lay around, not do anything.
You're waking up thinking today's a good day to be a lazy day.
Yeah.
It's every day you're waking up feeling
Right.
like, oh, today's a good day to be a lazy day.
Right.
That type of a
Exactly.
issue, which there are people out there that are like that,
That is true.
obviously.
And then I think when you look at our culture right now, I think there's a big push that the current generation has zero work ethic whatsoever. Which is one of the reasons why they say like it's so hard to find people who will
Wanna
come to
work.
work.
Right.
This is why you have so much turnover in the workforce. Because you got to hire somebody but you can't rely on them. They're not dependable because they don't come into work all the time. They're always calling in.
Right. Yeah.
Making whatever excuse, or they just simply don't show up.
They don't show up. Yeah.
You know,
There's still places, and back in the COVID days, this happened a lot. But there's still places around that you see. Oh, today we're closed because we don't have the staff. It just still boggles my mind.
yeah,
Oh, this restaurant or this mom and pop or whatever. There's no one there.
yeah,
I saw a news article not too long ago that there was I believe it was a Hardee's, and if it's not, I apologize, but I believe it was a Hardee's, and I don't remember what state it was in. The police were called because a customer went. There was no one in the no workers, no employees in the restaurant, and they wondered if something terrible's happened. So they called the police. No,
there just wasn't anybody working.
no one there. Right, doors are open, lights are on. There's no one there.
What?
Yeah, no employees. They didn't show up.
Oh my word!
Or the last shift left, and the next shift, whatever happened, there was no one there.
Lack of communication.
Something.
Left it open.
Yep, something.
Wow.
But just from
yeah,
maybe something tragic happened or something with somebody, but you could probably check it off the list that probably a little laziness came about.
What does it look like when you combine a rousing game of putt-putt and camp ministry? The first annual Bancroft Putt-Putt Tournament. That's what. Why not play 36 holes of putt-putt and support the ministry you love? Whether you are a fierce putt-putt competitor or just want a fun night with the family, all can have their putt-putt cravings fulfilled at Bancroft's Putt-Putt Tournament. On Thursday, April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m., come out to the Putt-Putt Fun Center on Stone Drive in Kingsport, Tennessee to not only play some putt-putt, but also support Bancroft's Bible Camp. The tournament will consist of teams of 4, and there are 4 different competition groups. PGA Ready, for those uber-competitive putt-putt masters. Or Casual Putter, for those who enjoy a round of golf with their friends, but are too modest to hit the tour. Or Sand Trap King, for those who are better off just taking a mulligan. Or just having fun, and that's for those who are just looking for a nice outing with your spouse and kids. Whatever your level of putt-putt skill, there's a place for you, and each group has a first, second, and third place trophy to be won and proudly displayed for all your friends to see. But what if you're not much of a putt-putter, but would still like to contribute? Well, you can become a sponsor of the tournament. If you would like to sponsor a hole in memory of someone, or maybe you have a business that you would like to get some marketing, there are opportunities for you as well. So register your team today for only $60 a team. That's $15 a person. Or become a sponsor of the tournament and help support Bancroft Bible Camp. Visit the website today at bancroftgospelministry.org/putt-putt. That's bancroftgospelministry.org/putt-putt. And if you didn't get all of that, there will be a link in the description. Looking for an easy and economical way to partner with Bancroft? For cheaper than a movie ticket, a Disney Plus Hulu subscription, and a meal at Chick-fil-A, you can make an eternal impact for just $10 a month. For only $10 a month, you become part of an alliance of financial supporters who are providing for the financial needs of the ministry. I know that $10 doesn't really seem like a lot of money, but it's a donation that everyone is able to participate in. Whether you're on a fixed budget, a child using birthday money, everyone is able to find $10 a month to donate. You probably could even find $10 in the cushions of your couch. It's as easy as replacing one fast food meal a month, or replacing 1 or 2 cups of coffee a month. For students, maybe just wash 1 car a month. Maybe for students, make this your birthday or Christmas present. No matter how big or how small, young or old, everyone can participate in $10 a month, and every little bit helps fund everything we do here at Bancroft throughout the year. Head on over to bancroftgospelministry.org, click on any of the donate buttons throughout the website, and sign up for our $10 a month club. Make sure to click to make it reoccurring so you never miss a month to partner with us. With this generation too, like there's the argument that they do have a work ethic, but only for specific things,
Right.
you know? But it feels like the bigger push is lack of work ethic, sense of entitlement, like those types of things where they're like, no, like I'm willing to work as long as I get X job and I'm getting paid X amount of money, you know? And the thing is, traditionally, that's not the way life works.
No, you start at the bottom, you work towards
start
the
at
top.
the bottom and you got to work your way
I hate
up.
to tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 19 years old.
Yeah, it's almost like a demand.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they have this demand of, like you just said, I want this job, this position, and I want to be paid this much.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
And if you can't do that for me, then I'll stay at home.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to stay at home a long time then.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think there's a mentality out there right now. Well, I think there's a couple. There's one where there's a view of the current generation that says they're terrible at working. They have no work ethic. They have a sense of entitlement. They will only work if these certain parameters are met. Right. And then there's this other, I guess, perspective of, well, but I'm good at these types, especially because we're going in such a technological direction. Your younger generations, like that's what they know,
Right.
and so there's an aspect where it's like, actually they work really well in those fields, and the thing is, we need them in those fields.
Yes, I need my children to help me figure out my phone.
Exactly.
I really do.
But at the same time, and we were talking about this, before we started filming this episode, was like, but we also need people who have a work ethic to like do the hard stuff,
Right.
Like to get your hands dirty, just because like, like you were saying, like the people who like build the computers, the people who are building the cars, like the people who are, in those offices doing those types of things.
Not to knock those people.
Not to knock those. We need them
Yes.
all. But then they actually are the ones who are generally calling the plumbers to come and fix, a
Right.
toilet, or, an electrician to come and do something, or lawn care to come and maintain and landscape
Yes.
the outside of their building, Like we need all of those things.
Right. We do.
But the struggle is just the concept of initiative and work ethic.
It's as time goes on and the next generation, we start losing a lot of that, those hands-on,
Like trades.
labor type trades, that used to be passed down, and now there's like some of these trades are getting to the point where there's nobody else to pass it down to. I think of the man who made our new sign out front at our entrance. I think he was talking, like there's not a whole lot of these people doing these kind of like a sandblasted type of a sign. There's not a whole lot around anymore to do that, and there's nobody to pass that down to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, pass it down to me. But you know what I mean? Like a lot of these trades, before long, what's going to happen? Some of these trades die out. They just you don't have it anymore.
Yep.
Can't have that done anymore. Can't have something made like that anymore. It's not around.
Yep.
You start thinking about it, it's scary. I mean, what happens if I think you and I, we can relatively figure out any plumbing issue, maybe an electrical issue. If there's a blue flame, you got a wire switched around or something. But you know what I mean? But there's some people that absolutely have no clue with that. But if the plumbing trade or the electrical trade or some of these trades disappears over time, well, what are we supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as generations go on, these newer generations, and I'm not knocking these newer generations, but these newer generations, they don't see an importance in these labory. That's a word. Labor type of jobs and careers.
Yep.
And not to knock anybody that works in an office and is a computer genius, because you're way smarter than I am. But we need both.
Yeah.
And so shout out to a parent that's teaching their kid a trade.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really. And shout out to a parent that's teaching their children how to use a computer, because I don't know how to do that at all. I just make it look good. Really, my screen's blank, and I just pretend like let me get my mouse. But it just seems like as time goes on, these trades and these things and work ethics, laboring work ethics disappear. When I owned my business, I remember there was one young man I hired. He went to church. You were his youth pastor. I'm not going to use any names because I don't want him to get, all worked up and think he's the greatest. But I remember he started working with me. This kid worked like he probably was one of the hardest workers I ever had. Okay. So the next week I go to church and his dad says, so how did he do? I almost said his name. He said, how did my son do? I said, tell your son next week to slow it down because he's going to kill me. The kid's like running circles, and I'll never forget. He's like, he would tell me, JT, 2 loads are for the week.
That's right.
As he has like 12 mulch bags stacked on his head. But that's a work ethic.
Yeah.
And he worked hard and he worked quickly and he did a great job. And that's a testament to a parent as far as I'm concerned, for one. But he would do all this work to get done with our day, to go to his other job to work.
Yep.
And he just wanted to work and make money.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, Jude.
Yes.
My nephew who's here at camp.
Yes.
But
I want to clarify, it's not on your side of the family, it's on your wife's side. I think that means, I need to have that clarified.
That is true. That's true. But he's a workhorse, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's dependable.
Yes.
He's going to show up when he needs to show up. He's going to do the job. He's going to do the job well.
Yes.
Yes. And again, and there's an initiative that comes there too. It's not just you don't always have to tell those individuals what to do. You know,
I
you
call
don't
it
have to. You don't have to like hold their hand.
I call it a noticer.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're a noticer, and he is. And this young man I was speaking about, they were noticers. Like, this is what's coming next. I feel like we talked about this recently.
Yeah,
or I've had this conversation with someone recently.
Yep.
This is what's coming next.
Yep.
And they're ready for it.
Yep.
Without saying, we need this and we need this. This is what we need next. No,
Right.
they're paying attention. They've got the work ethic. They've got that mentality of, hey, this is the job. This is what we're doing. This is what's coming next.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like they're following the plan.
Yeah, they're reading the room. Hello.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, they know what's going on.
Yep.
And maybe maybe you've taught them this once or twice, you know, at the beginning, or maybe they're just that good.
Yeah.
And they've got these type of skills and these mindsets that, hey, oh, the next thing is needed is a shovel.
Right.
Oh, the next thing needed is X.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that makes a great employee.
Oh, I agree. And it makes life a whole lot easier too. Like you
Shout
said.
out to Arthur. Okay,
Oh,
I
there
did
he
it.
is.
Just shout out.
Drop the
We're not
name.
going to use the last name, but shout out to Arthur. But yeah, it's just
Which I think he's like a welder now too.
is he a
He does a lot of welding.
I love that kid.
So-
He's not a kid anymore. He's still a kid. But it's just and as an employer or someone who's hired these folks, they're such a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, it's like, this guy is awesome, or gal. You know, they're like a few and far between.
Yep.
Type of that they catch on, they get it.
Yep.
You know, hey, they look at the schedule. Oh, this is what needs to be done next.
Yeah. And I think
Right?
that's, you know, some of that I think are characteristics of somebody who does have a good work ethic, right?
Yes.
So somebody who has a good work ethic is going to be dependable,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're going to be a noticer. You know, like they don't always have to be told
Mm-hmm.
what needs to be done. Like they're following the plan, they're learning it. You know, they're going to show up on time. You know, when
Right.
they're there, they're actually going to work. You know, it's not just, hey, I'm there to like punch
Check,
in, and
yeah.
then I'm just going to sit around and be on my phone all day and not pay attention. You know, oh, okay, it's time to go home, punch out, and then leave. You know, but it's going to be somebody who's going to be there, who's really just going to put the time and effort into it. You know, like that sweat equity.
Right.
You know, who's like, I'm not just here, I'm not just a body, but I'm like participating in this.
I'm part
with
of
you.
it,
I'm part
you
of
know?
this.
Yeah.
And there's an ownership, I think, that comes
There
from that
is.
when you have that kind of work ethic. I worked at Kmart, Blue Light Special, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Oh,
Yeah.
don't cry. Don't
I
cry.
know. The Kmart cafeteria.
Hey, the K Cafe.
Oh,
actually.
baby.
Yeah, it went modern and it was called the K Cafe.
Yeah, but see, back in my day, it was Kmart cafeteria.
Exactly. Which, let me just say, the K Cafe
Yes.
at the Kmart that I worked at had the best burgers.
I can't.
They really were fantastic.
What has happened to this world that we got rid of that?
And what were we thinking?
Yeah, and now all
The only rival to Walmart was Kmart.
Kmart.
So,
And Kmart was there first.
right?
They were there first.
Yeah.
And then Walmart comes along and sucks the blood out of them.
So anyway,
Yeah.
when I worked at Kmart, there were some employees who would come in, and literally they would stay in the same spot the entire day,
Were they sluggish?
and they were basically like on their phone the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not
I'm like,
do anything.
I'm like, what exactly are you doing
Mm-hmm.
all day? Because to me, I'm sitting there going, if I'm just standing there in the same place
Yeah.
and I'm just like scrolling on my phone, the 8 hours that I'm working
Has now-
is going to feel like 20.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's amazing that like when you're working hard, like usually
Time flies.
time flies.
Except the other day.
They
No.
say time flies when you're having fun,
Well,
which is also true. But usually
it
time
does.
flies when you're
it does.
working.
It does.
You
Right.
know, when you're staying occupied, when you're doing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all of a sudden you're looking at it like, man, it's already time to go home.
Yeah, right. And if you're not busy, it's like you keep looking at I don't wear a watch,
Every
but
10
keep looking at the
seconds,
clock. It's like
there's nothing going on. Yeah, it's the worst.
It's only whatever
Yeah.
time it is. Yeah.
But here's the other thing too. I think with somebody who has good work ethic, like that's noticed by the people you're working for.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or the people that you're serving,
Right.
right? Like they notice when you do well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think we see this, whether we're at, a retail store, whether we're at a restaurant, with
Mhm.
waiters and waitresses, especially, you see them and you're like, this is a good
Right.
waiter. This is a good
Yes.
waitress.
Yes.
Like they're busting themselves just to get this stuff done.
Mhm.
Like it's noticeable. And actually, I would argue it's noticeable at both extremes. When you work really, really hard and you've got a great work ethic,
when you don't work.
or when you're a
Yes.
lazy bum.
I was in the post office this morning. Yes, I noticed something. I don't want to say what I noticed, but I did notice something. But like you were saying, the ones that were working really hard. We went to lunch the other day at somewhere. Not you and I, some other folks and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Chili's is where we went.
Okay.
And shout out to Chili's here in Kingsport. I don't know our waiter's name. This man brought more Dr. Peppers. I mean, I was feeling like I'm like trying to drink two at one time because I didn't. I mean, he kept us like your glass wasn't half full and the next one was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And never did you have to say, hey, and there's times you're at a restaurant and you're like, there's nothing to drink. You're choking, ready to die.
You're looking for the waiter.
There's no one to be found. You're like licking the condensation off your wife's glass because you're dying. You need a drink. But this guy, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's a work ethic, and that's noticed by a customer. I'm sure his boss and his supervisor noticed those kind of things that, hey, this guy is always on top of it.
Yep.
Our little chips and salsa, I mean, never was there barely a crumb because he always had another batch of chips and salsa there. Just good service.
Yep.
And I don't think that kind of service and that kind of work ethic, that mentality, that's taught somewhere along the line.
Mm-hmm.
That's been modeled somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Whether it be by an ant watching the trails of ants or whatever, but that's been taught somewhere.
Yeah. Good work ethic generally is taught, in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's by observing somebody else who's modeling it for you, or having somebody light a fire underneath you to teach you how to work.
Right.
Like I remember, again, when I was in middle school, high school, I had the infamous "you need to take initiative" talk by my mom and my stepdad, and I remember it.
Yeah.
I was
not belittling mom.
Not belittling them at all.
No, but
they actually made me into who I am.
It's playing in my head.
See, now I'm a workaholic because of this.
Yes, thank you, Paula. Thank you. Really.
But I remember getting called down to my stepdad's office, which was basically the laundry room downstairs. His desk.
You had
was
to be called to the
room.
office.
I got
at
called
your own
to
house.
the office.
This is getting weird.
Okay. And my mom and my stepdad.
Was it like, boop, Derrick, to the office, please, and like an intercom system? Yeah.
To the office and laundry room.
Yeah.
Bring your laundry as you come.
Because you haven't taken initiative to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember going down to his office and standing there, and him and my mom were just
blasting you? Is that,
yeah, there was a lot. I don't even remember the majority of it. All I remember is that it was about you need to take initiative. You need to take initiative
in everything. In your entire life.
My entire life.
Oh,
yeah,
mercy.
You need a work ethic, and so they're like, you need to go find a job. So I'm like,
is this before Kmart then?
This was before Kmart.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then I started to mow yards in our neighborhood.
Oh,
look at you! I was like a little JT.
Oh.
So then I'm pushing my lawnmower around the community, and mowing yards, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But the thing is, I remember that talk about initiative.
Kind of like get your butt in gear, get going. Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're gonna have to light a fire under you because you need to learn how to work well.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to make myself look better than you, because you're so much better than me at so many things. But I started cutting grass when I was 9, and it just never stopped. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But I remember in high school, after school, the man that took care of the grounds at the school hired me. Yeah. So I worked for him. So after school, I'd get out of school, go change, and I'd cut grass at my school until it was time to go home.
Yeah.
And then in college, I worked all day. I had my own business then, so I worked all day. I went to college at night.
Yeah.
It could be done.
It can be done.
It
takes work. It takes time management.
It takes
and discipline. Those kind of things.
Yeah, and then you get up tomorrow morning and do the same thing all over again.
Same
right?
thing. Yep.
Yeah, it does, and it takes obviously it takes that work ethic, but it also is like you see a goal, and it's determination, I guess is the right word I'm looking for. You see that goal at the end of, hey, this is what I'm trying to attain, and this is how I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And none of that's easy.
No, it's not.
None of that comes easy, and none of that comes without hard work. Right. Sometimes in those earlier years, sometimes a parent can be a hindrance to allowing the child or the teenager, or it's their child, to blossom, let's say, or grow in this direction of work ethic.
Right.
spoiling your kids is great. It's a wonderful thing to spoil your child, but it's also a really bad thing to spoil your child. Spoil your child to where you've now allowed them to miss learning a work ethic, learning, hey, hard work, it's going to have to happen in life.
Yeah.
Hard work is going to get you the things that you need.
Yep.
Hard work is going to get you the things that you may want.
Yep.
Hard work is going to provide
Yep.
for you and your family one day.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes parents, by spoiling them and, we would never want little Johnny to have to work much or you're not always helping your child.
Yeah, I would argue you're definitely hurting them in the long run.
Right.
Because there's going to come a point where they're going to have to be on their own.
Yeah.
They're not underneath your house anymore.
Right.
Underneath your roof. And so like they're going to have to learn how to support themselves. And eventually they're going to have to learn how to support a wife and kids. Maybe you should teach them how to work now so that when they do leave the house, they can actually take care of themselves.
Right. And they're actually going to be like a functioning person in our society.
Yeah, and actually
somebody
contribute.
that contributes to our society and to our,
You go back to the Pilgrims, when they came over, one of the biggest things that was really pushed, which was actually a biblical principle, is like, if you don't work, you don't eat,
For real.
And so it's like, no, like if you're not contributing to the effort here, well, then no, you're not going to get a house. You're not going to be able to eat.
And back in those days, a lot of that work was literally the work to raise what we are going to eat.
That's exactly
it wasn't
right.
like, I'm going to go down and work at Kmart, make $10, and I'm going to go buy Sonic on the way home.
Yep.
It wasn't that. It was like, no, we all are out here going to be plowing the field, planting the whatevers, pulling the weeds, harvesting it, doing whatever we have to do to make it edible, process whatever.
Yep.
Plus all, raising cows and building barns and houses. But I mean, this was like, if you don't work, you are not going to eat because we're going to have nothing to eat.
Yeah, and nobody's going to eat.
Yeah, we're all going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but I think that's a very important
It
principle.
is.
And I think that's
truly is.
an important principle to teach our kids. Even at a younger age. Of hey, like contribute.
Yeah,
Learn how to do your
For
own
real.
laundry. Learn how to clean your room.
Yes.
Take care of your stuff. Which I mean, all that I think can go back into stewardship. Like take care of the things that are yours. You know, those kind of things. But all that really is just you're teaching them a work ethic. You're teaching them to take the initiative. Hey, do you not have any underwear left? Maybe you should do your laundry.
Right.
And so it's like, hey, take the initiative, do the work. Like even with our kids, we talk with them pretty regularly. And actually, Reagan and Bryce, they do a good job overall.
They do. They really do.
But of just saying, look, like get your work done now so that you can play later.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like don't do all your playing and just kind of like hum around or whatever. And now it's 7:00 at night, you still don't have your stuff done. And now you can't sit and watch a movie, as a family, or go outside and play, or whatever it is.
You got to be doing your stuff.
Because you're going to be stuck in your room having to work on your stuff.
Right.
Like do it all now. Put the time into it. Focus. Get it done. And especially, I mean, we homeschool, and there for a while, I think Reagan, her workload is more than it used to be.
Right. The older they get,
and the older they get, that's the way it works.
The
But I mean,
subjects.
there were times where, and there's certain days where, like, they could be done by 1 o'clock.
I wish that was here.
And then they've got the rest of the day
Yeah.
to do whatever the heck they want to do.
Right. But getting up, getting it done, and then we're done.
Exactly.
I remember vaguely. I remember those homeschool conversations. Like if we could just get this done. Let's just get done, and we're done. Then we can go do whatever we want to do.
Exactly.
We might be able to go. We might go somewhere. We might go do something, or we can just be a sloth on the couch.
Yep.
And watch TV and eat popcorn, whatever. But we've done our work.
Yep. Exactly. And we've taken the time. We've taken the initiative to do the things that we need to do to work hard now, so that we can rest and play later.
This year, through both our retreats and camps, enter a world of dragons, knights, wizards, and so much more as we dive into the reality of spiritual warfare. In the spring, our theme will be Friend and Fiend. Every battle has an enemy to be defended against, fought, and to be defeated. Join us this spring as we expose and examine our enemy and his tactics and learn to rely on our friend and commander, Jesus. Then, in our epic summer camp, our theme is Battle Royale, and the battle is on. Embark on a fantastical journey next year as we armor up to fight against the cave trolls, orcs, goblins, and dragons of sin and temptation that wage war against us. Join us this summer as we examine and put on the armor of God and join the battle for the ages. Finally, in the fall, our theme will be victorious. The objective in every battle is to win, but it doesn't always feel like we are winning. As we persevere in this epic spiritual battle, we need to be reminded that we already know how it ends. Join us this fall as we encourage one another with the truth that the Lord wants us to experience a victorious life, not only in this life, but for those in Christ, we will ultimately win in the next life. Visit our website at bancroftgospelministry.org today and register for our spring and fall retreats and our summer camp. It's going to be a fantastically epic year.
And I think that's where Solomon too in Proverbs 6, I think that's where he's talking about, as a sluggard. He's like, well, I'll just read it again. He says, like, consider the ant. Without any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. What is he saying? The ant has, it doesn't need somebody to tell it what to do. It's going to take the initiative to do the things that it knows it needs to get done.
To prepare for
what's
coming.
For what's coming.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And like, if we can instill that in our kids,
From an ant.
if we can instill that into, the next generation, I would even argue if we can instill it in some people in our generation.
We could just instill that into any human being that's on the planet right now.
Any human being. That would be
Yeah,
help.
because I don't want to, and I don't think we have, but I don't want to just put this on this generation.
Right.
Because there's plenty of our generation and generations past that are
honestly,
still out and about.
Yeah, and Solomon wouldn't have brought this up.
Right.
Right. This is not like a new issue.
No,
You know what I mean?
no. Right. This has been an issue from long ago.
Yep.
A whole long time ago. Right. So, yeah, it's not just, this just didn't arrive in this current generation of young people.
Right.
No, this has been ongoing.
Yep.
But it just seems to be getting a little, it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
Right. And a little more widespread.
Yeah. And so I think, again, I think that's why Solomon kind of brings this stuff up, and when he wrote this thousands of years ago, it's still applicable today because, like you said, it's the same issue.
Right.
The issue hasn't changed. Like, I would argue that from the fall in Genesis chapter 3, the temptation for laziness, for idleness, to sit around and do nothing was there.
Yeah.
Because I would argue that laziness, idleness,
It's a sin.
those types of things, it's sinful, but it's a result also of the curse and of sin.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to work.
While the cat's away, do the mice play? That's such an old.
It's an old thing.
We used to do that when our mother was away. It's like, oh, she's gone. Yeah, we're gonna play now. We're gonna wrestle in the living room, and we're gonna throw the football in the house because she's not there, right?
Yeah.
But is that the mentality of people who employees or people who are working? If the boss isn't there, or if the higher up isn't there, well, I can slough off.
Yeah.
Do I? Yeah, I do it. I take a nap every time you're not here. But no, it's such a cheesy little saying there, but it that happens all the time. And like, maybe not you, but you probably witnessed others. As if the supervisor comes by, all of a sudden now we're we're straightening the stuff on the shelves and stocking the toilet paper. Yeah,
Yep,
like
exactly.
really. But then as soon as they go past, it's like.
Yeah.
Man.
Back
I
to
mean, that's
my
what
phone,
Jeff and I do.
scrolling.
Jeff, our good friend
I
Jeff
see.
here. That's what we do. We see you come, we're like, oh, start stirring the beans. Oh, there's no beans in the pot, but he's stirring them. Maybe he won't notice.
Clink, clink, clink,
yeah,
clink,
yeah, just making noise. Yeah, right. Splash some flour on our face. Make it look like we've been baking. But you've witnessed that, right?
Oh, of course.
Although
I'm even guilty of it. I've done it too. Like, even
you
when I
do
was
it
working
with me all the time. I come into your office, all of a sudden you're like, I'm like, really? Come on. There's nothing on the screen. But yeah, I've been guilty of it. We're all guilty of that. We've all done that. But there's folks out there that this is like their This is like their
Their motto for life.
I was gonna say mojo.
You were gonna say
yeah, it's like their
mojo.
mojo. It's like this is my life.
Yep.
Is I'm only gonna do the
bare minimum.
If it's not even more bare than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just
I'm always gonna live as if the cat is away, so I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And some of these people still have jobs. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah. There's a biblical principle too, and I heard this kind of growing up in the church, or like a little mantra,
a mojo.
No. A mojo.
Not an emoji.
Not an emoji and not a mojo.
Yeah.
A mantra or a motto.
Right.
Was idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Oh yeah.
And so, when Solomon is speaking to the sluggard,
Mm-hmm.
he's speaking to somebody who is idle, who's just not doing anything. Like those are prime opportunities for Satan to tempt, and for us to give in to those temptations.
Right.
Like that's somebody who's idle, not busy about the things of the Lord
Mm-hmm.
or the things that we're responsible for or whatever it might be. That's when we get ourselves in trouble.
Right.
It reminds me a little bit too of maybe even David, when he was king, and in that passage, where he commits adultery with Bathsheba, I think that chapter starts off with like in the times when kings would go off to war,
Mm-hmm.
David stayed home, or that kind of a concept. Well, he wasn't where he's normally supposed to be, in battle, at war, strategizing. He's idle. He's
Mm-hmm.
back. And it was a perfect opportunity for Satan to come in to do his stuff and bring about the temptation, from Bathsheba.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a very important thing. Like, and I'm sure you could probably, attest to this too. I know I can. Like there's been times when if I'm bored or I don't have a whole lot of stuff to do, well, I take it back. If I'm bored because I'm not doing the things I should be doing,
Right.
or
There's always something to do.
There's always something to do. But like those times when you're just kind of sitting around, not doing anything, that's prime opportunity to get yourself in trouble.
Thoughts run through your mind. You're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to fight those thoughts off sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless it's ice cream. That's like, I'll give in.
That's always a good
I'll
thought.
give in to
That's
that
always a good
temptation.
thought.
But
it is.
you're
It's one of those things.
You're
Like
right.
idle hands are the devil's workshop.
You can see it in your children.
Oh,
and I'm
absolutely.
not saying just your children. I mean,
But
in
just in
our
general.
own children.
Yeah.
You can see that, There were times when I was a younger person. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was idle too long, I was in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so that's where, again, like having a good work ethic and being responsible and taking the initiative not only is good from a work standpoint, like to do those types of things, but working hard keeps you from sin. Because you're not idle.
Yeah. No, it is. It's really
because you're
true.
about the things
You're
that you
busy.
ought to be doing.
Yeah. And you're busy. And your mind is on what you're doing. Your mind isn't being able to wander off.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. And I think that's an important
well, when
thing
you're busy,
too.
your mind's not supposed to wander off, I should say. 'cause
Right, you're
mind
supposed to be
wanders no matter
focused
what
and doing
I'm
the stuff
doing.
that you need to be doing.
Right, right.
But yeah, I think those are. I
Back
think that's
to,
important.
I just had a thought, like on the work ethics and things. There's been times, that young people come along and you're really hoping that their work ethic is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You're really hoping that this guy or this girl is going to just really get the job done.
Right.
And then come to find out over a little bit of time, shortly after, because it usually arrives pretty soon.
Yeah.
And you were able to notice that, man, they're just not as hard of a worker
Yeah.
as I would have liked them to have been.
Right.
And at times it's disheartening to the person that's maybe overseeing them. But then it's like, how do I encourage this person to work harder? Well, start working,
Right.
maybe at some point, or work harder,
Right.
get more things accomplished. Take pride in what you do. I think that's a big thing too. You can be a hard worker, but not have pride in what you're doing. I could be working very hard, but I don't really care what it looks like as I'm working very hard. So let's work hard, but let's take pride in what we're doing and producing something that's of quality, something that is honoring to the Lord, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, all of our work is for the Lord, right? I'm going to have to remind myself of that some days with you, but I'm just teasing. But right, it is. All of our work is for the Lord at the end of the day. So how do we encourage those type of young people, let's not just put it on young people. How do we encourage those people to work harder, to have a better work ethic, to care about what product they're putting out, whatever that product is.
Right.
I know back in my own, and I feel like I've said this in another recording, and if I have, sorry, but we're going to repeat it because I feel like it's important. I always thought, let's make this fun. The best we can do, let's make what we have to do fun.
Right.
Because none of it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was. But you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So if we can make this fun, we can still get our job done. We can still do a quality job. We can still work hard and having fun.
Sure.
But let's try to make this as fun as we can.
Right.
I don't know if that's a key to things at times. And I also think in being encouraging to those that are doing this work or doing work in general, encourage them. Hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, going beside them and saying, hey, let me show you a better way to do this.
Right.
Let me show you how to correct this little off, whatever. Let me show you how to correct this. And doing that in a loving manner instead of such a authoritative manner. I don't know what rabbit trail I'm on, but I'm on one. But you know what I mean? Like just coming alongside of people instead of just being over the top of them all the time.
Right.
And trying to instill work ethic in that manner.
The hard part,
that was a long trip, but we went there.
The hard part, I think, though, is a lot of it depends on the heart of the person. Because at the end of the day, like, I can't change the heart.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
And so, like, I can put as much effort into trying to teach you how to work. I can model it for you. I can be the first one in, the last one out all the time. And you can see that, And anytime, we can work together and I'm going to work hard. I'm going to teach you all this different stuff. I think all those things are great. But at the end of the day, like, it's in the heart of that individual.
That's a great point.
And so, like, there's an aspect to where...
What is it, a heartitude? Is that what they call it?
Heartitude.
Wow,
that's good.
I don't know how to spell it, but anyhow. That's a great point.
It's the Spirit's work, ultimately, to be able to help that person understand the importance of work, and that work is good. Yeah. Which actually... towards the end of some of our stuff, I think we kind of see some of those things too. Like God has made us to work. Like Genesis chapter 2, when he creates Adam and Eve, like he puts Adam in there. He's like, hey, in Genesis 2:15, he says, the Lord God took the man, put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it.
Right.
Like he created man to work. Like work is a good thing. Because we've been created for it, to do it. Now, because of the fall, now, like, the temptation is not to work, right? He created us to work because of sin. Now we choose not to work and we don't want to, right? Also, not that work was easy before the fall, right? Like, he still had to work, but because of sin, work became harder. So now it is by the sweat of your brow. Like you actually have to work hard now.
Thanks, Adam.
Because of sin, and so like we see some of these different things, and so like trying to teach a person that work is a good thing. Like I can tell them that principle, but they're gonna be like,
"You're right.
I'm not seeing any good out of it. It's terrible. It's the worst thing.
I'm digging this ditch. I don't see anything good about this."
And I can even look at somebody and just say, "Hey, like." From a spiritual perspective, Colossians chapter 3, work heartily as unto the Lord and not unto men.
Right.
Like, don't work for their praise, work to please God.
Right.
And that sounds great, but that's not always a motivator for people to work hard, And so, again, at the end, and here's the other thing too, like I can teach somebody how to work. I can incentivize that work all day.
Like take them to lunch?
Like take them to lunch, to Applebee's.
Right.
But from a practical standpoint, like those are things that can work eventually, but ultimately it's going to go back to the heart of that individual, and that's what makes it hard. And because I'm sure that you've probably dealt with it. I know I have, where you're trying to teach somebody how to manage time, how to work hard, how to take initiative, how to be a noticer, those types of things. And it literally feels like you're just having to bang your head against the wall on a regular basis.
They're not getting it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times you've told them the exact same thing. They're just, no, they're just not getting it at all. And it can be absolutely frustrating. Like, you really want to either kill them or kill yourself sometimes.
Or both. Yeah.
You know, because you're like,
Right.
what can I do to get through this person? So then you have to kind of resign yourself to, one, I've done everything I know to do, right? Number two, I can't change the heart of that person.
Right. Yeah, that's a great.
And so there's
that's
going
a
to
great
come a
point.
point where they're going to have to learn the lesson. Unfortunately, if they continue down this road, they're going to have to learn it the hard way.
Right.
If you don't work,
You don't eat.
You know,
And
you're going to be living on the
apparently
street.
I'm working because I'm eating. Or something like that.
You know,
yeah,
but
you're
seriously,
right.
there's going to come a point where it's like, hey, you don't have anything anymore.
Because you don't work.
Yeah, it almost reminds me too a little bit of the prodigal son. You know, like his dad just gives him his inheritance because he's like, I want my inheritance now. And Dad's like, well, fine, gives it to him. He goes and squanders it, and now he's got nothing. And where does it leave him? Leaves him with the pigs.
Yeah.
You know why? Well, he
nothing.
doesn't have anything because he didn't work. He's not eating.
Have you seen how pigs live lately?
It's not pleasant. You know.
Yeah.
And so then like part of his repentance, he's like, I'm not worthy to be called your son. Just let me be one of your hired servants. You know what I'm saying? Like part of his repentance was realizing I've squandered all of this. Like, just let me work now for you. I'm not entitled to anything. Like, don't
be
even
your employee.
Yeah, make me your employee, and I will work for it now. You know, which I think that's a really interesting part of that his repentance is reflected in now his willingness to work. You know, and to do the things that were necessary. You know, to kind
So
of
he
take care of
doesn't
all.
get it up front, like you're saying. You know, you can do all you can, everything within your power to get somebody to grasp this concept.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah.
And so that leads down to living with the pigs in a sense. And now I'm to the bottom of the barrel. I'm living in the pig pen.
Yep.
Probably eating what's given to the pigs in a
Right.
sense, right? Which, if you've seen what pigs eat,
Yeah.
it's not great either.
No.
Right? It's what you scrape off the plate at the buffet.
Yep.
When it's over. Now all of a sudden I've got I think I've learned. I've got the concept now.
Yep. The government is always looking for ways to tax our hard-earned money and investments. One of the ways they like to take our money is through capital gains taxes. This is where the government taxes our profits from smart investments that we make through the stock market, selling of real estate, and other valuable property. But what if I told you that there was a way to escape some of these taxes? Instead of giving some of the profits to the government, why not give it to a ministry that you love? That's right. You can avoid some capital gains taxes by donating stock that has increased in value to a nonprofit organization. Many donors have found that this is an easy way to increase their donation while helping themselves at tax time. Stock Donator is a great organization that makes your stock donations to nonprofits as easy as pie. Simply go to stockdonator.com and follow the online prompts to donate your stock to Bancroft today and help support the ministry that you love. Visit Stock Donator today and make a lasting contribution to the ministry. And unfortunately, that's the difficult part. There's going to be some people who they have to experience the pig pen
Right. Before they
get there.
Right.
You know, even though obviously I think the hope, you know, especially
that they
like
would realize that before they get to the pig
you know,
pen.
which is why I'm trying to teach you these things
Right,
now.
Right. You think I'm trying to teach you these things because I'm trying to be mean,
Right.
possibly,
Or authoritarian.
or trying to
whatever.
get me to do work for a free lunch or whatever it is. But no, I'm really trying to teach you these things for your own
For your own
good.
good and for your own benefit.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
When he's sent to the pigs and he's living there with the pigs, there's a change of heart there.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess my heart would change if I was living with
Yeah.
the pigs, right? And so now, sorry, I'm supposed to bring my microphone when I lean back, but now my heart changes.
Yeah.
It'd have been so much easier if maybe my stubbornness would have allowed my heart to change.
Yeah.
Before I got to that point, like you just said.
Yep. And that's the thing.
Very interesting.
Like being in that situation now puts you, like, it humbles you, right?
Yeah.
It strips away any sense of
Yeah.
entitlement that you think that you might have.
Right.
It causes you, like, you're in desperation, right? And you're broken, you know? And so now you do go back and be like, you know what? I've learned my lesson. Let me start to put my hand to the plow, right?
Right.
Let me start to work, so I can, and let me learn these things, so that I don't find myself in the exact same situation later, And I think that's just where, like, the way that I was raised to work hard, that not only am I created to work, but I'm created to work hard, right? And then I need to take the initiative. I need to have a good work ethic, because I don't think my parents wanted me to mooch off of them. You know what I mean? But I think they saw the bigger picture down the road of there's going to come a point, son, where you're going to be on your own.
When you're going to meet Maria.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to provide for her.
Exactly.
Right. And she's not going to want to live with the pigs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's all funny, but it's the truth.
Yeah. And there's going to be a point where you are going to have to go get a job because you're going to have a vehicle that you're going to have to pay for, because we're not paying for it for you.
What mean parents?
I know, terrible.
Goodness.
I know.
Let's just call the cops.
But here's the thing. Yeah. So not only I had to go through the grueling initiative talk.
I love it.
But honestly, I'd much rather go through a grueling initiative talk than find myself
with the pigs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. Yep.
And so, over the years then, I learned how to work hard, and honestly, I love to work. I enjoy working. It's tiring. Yeah.
Yes.
There are days that suck. Yeah.
Are we allowed to use that word?
I just did.
We did.
But, yeah. But, there are days where it's no, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is a bad day.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I enjoy working.
In those, I'm not going to use the word bad. In those long days.
Yeah.
And they suck. Some of those.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. And sometimes the next day because your body hurts.
And then there's that long day that sucked, and sometimes you have to get back up and you have to do that exact long day again.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you're tired and you're worn down, there's days that are like that.
Yep.
But at the end, I think in your heart, in your inner being and in your soul, to me, although I may complain about it, you feel good about it.
Mm.
As tired as you are, as worn down as you are, you're like, I don't know if I can do this ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But you do feel good about it because of what was accomplished, what you did, how hard you did work, how hard you did work, how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Is that right? You feel that way sometimes, as long as that day, we had a long day last week out in the hot sun, and we got home, we felt toasted, but I felt as toasty and roasty as I felt good.
Yeah.
Because I thought, man, look at all the stuff we accomplished.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
It was a hard day.
It was a hard day.
It was a good day.
Harder for you all because you all are lifting enormous timbers.
Yes, thank you.
I was more sitting on a tractor, which is hard, pulling levers, and you're thinking safety,
with your hat and safety,
and
sipping your drink,
sipping my drink. But you're watching others.
Breaking
you don't want to kill someone. But it was overall it was a good day.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I would agree, and I think we can all. I think everybody, whether it's just us or anybody who listens, like we can relate to those days where you go home and you're like, I got a lot done today.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel really, really good.
It does.
Which, again, because God has created us for work, Genesis chapter 2, because he's created us to work hard, right? I think we see that in Proverbs 18, Proverbs 21. But he also has created us so that we can actually find satisfaction in our work.
Right.
That's what Solomon teaches in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ecclesiastes 3 says, "So I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his work, for that is his lot." He's saying, it's good.
Right.
There's going to be satisfaction in your work. You're going to rejoice in it because, one, you're fulfilling what you've been created to do, right? And there's joy and satisfaction in that. But it's that same thing of being able to kind of look at what you just did and be like, man, that was good.
And you can be proud of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of like what you were talking about before, when we finished that job, and we're taking pictures and we're kind of looking at it, we're like, man, that looks sharp.
It looks good.
It looks sharp. Yeah. And then the next day you come in and you're like, man, it still looks
good.
Sharp.
Yeah. Nobody's ruined it yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yet.
Right.
But it's that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And there's satisfaction in our work.
There's satisfaction in hard work.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah. Because again, we can go back to you're fulfilling what God has created you for.
Right.
From creation. This isn't even a fault issue. It's from creation. He created you to work, to do hard work, and to find satisfaction in your work, you know? Which is why, I think there's another mantra, mojo, where, and I'm probably going to butcher it, so you'll probably have to fix it for me.
If I've ever heard it, but go ahead.
But it's that idea of, like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Like that idea.
You know what? A man said that just yesterday.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. He said that yesterday.
I didn't know that.
No lie. And he is my age, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if that matters, but he said that yesterday.
Yeah.
If you love what you do, you will not work a day in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like work.
I also would tell my kids, you need to love what you do, love where you work.
Yep.
Love what you do and do what you love.
Yep.
So my older daughter, she is she's a dog. She's psychotic about dogs. She has been since she was a child. You'd be driving down the road and she'd be like screaming in the back seat of the minivan, this kind of dog. And I'm like, okay, so it was a whatever kind of dog. It's whatever. My day's still going to go on.
Yeah.
But she's psychotic about dogs. And so she's a dog groomer. She loves what she does.
Yep.
And she does what she loves.
Yep.
Now if you call her, sometimes she's like, it's been a bad day, because some of these dogs are crazy. But it's very important, I think, too, to do what you love.
Yep.
Because, yes, if you're doing what you love, I still feel like I go to work sometimes, even though I'm doing what I love.
Sure. Yeah.
But it also makes it easier to go and do the work because it's what I love.
Right.
And I think it also makes it, you're going to take more pride in what you do when it's something that you love.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're going to push me out to work at McDonald's, I'm really not going to love working there. I'm knocking the people that work at McDonald's, but that's not really, I think, what I'm cracked up to do.
Right.
I'm probably not going to really care if you get your French fries in the bag or not. Right.
Yeah. No, and I think you're right. There's that aspect of, and the thing is, like, not everybody can find themselves 100% of their life in a position where they love their work.
Sometimes you just got to work.
Sometimes you just got to work.
We need to make money to live. So
exactly.
Right now I'm doing this until I get to something else.
And again, that's a biblical principle. Paul teaches 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. He says, "For even when we were with you, we would give you this command: if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat." So it kind of goes back to the whole pilgrim principle, right? Well, why? Well, because our work is supposed to be for the purpose of providing sustenance, for provision.
Right.
So there's going to be times where, you know what? I'm in a position where I don't really like this job, but I need this job.
Yeah.
Because I need sustenance. I need to put food on the table. I need to pay the bills, and so there are going to be seasons when, maybe you don't love your work, but we can still find joy in our work, even in those seasons when we're doing stuff that either we don't feel called,
Right.
or we don't believe that this is what we're supposed to be doing long term. We can still find joy in it simply because we're working hard.
Yeah.
For the Lord and not unto men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that needs to be in the forefront of our mind a lot.
Yes.
Even if it's at a place we love. That we're not doing this for Derrick.
Yeah.
We're not doing this for JT. We're not doing this for whoever.
Yeah.
But we're doing this for the Lord.
For the Lord.
Because I know in my own, I fall short of that a lot of times because, I'm a little more emotional, whatnot. And you get a little worked up at times. And you forget who are you ultimately doing this for.
Yep.
Whether it's something you like to do or something you're like, why am I doing this?
Yep. And so that's the thing. I think, whether it's in a season when you don't love your work, but it's a necessity,
right?
So that you can provide sustenance, right? Or you're in a season where the Lord has been gracious to you and you've been able to sit back and be like, I'm doing what I love.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like I'm working a day in my life because I love what I'm doing, whatever season you're in, we can still find joy in the work that we do, again, because of keeping our eyes focused on who we're doing the work for, right? But also because, God has created us to do it. And if He's created us to do the work, He's created us to work hard, and we are being faithful in that, then we can find joy in it, right. I remember, two things. One, when I left the church down in South Florida,
okay,
you were gracious enough to hire me.
That's the type of person I am.
That gracious.
Yeah, I'm that gracious.
It was pity. But like, you were gracious enough to hire me, you know? There were many days when I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing long term.
Right.
Like, God has not called me
There
to
were
weed
days
eat.
I felt like that too. No.
Like,
Yeah,
God hasn't
yeah.
called me to weed eat for the rest of my
Oh,
life.
Father
you
in
know?
heaven. He didn't call me to do that either, apparently.
But the thing
yeah.
is, like,
Yep.
but I needed that
Well,
job.
you needed to make a few dollars.
I needed to make some
buy a
money.
few beans and some bread for the children.
Right. You know, like, I needed
Yeah.
to do something, you
Right.
know? But I could still find joy in it because I was just faithful where the Lord had put me. And that's one of the things that Marie hammered into my head over and over and over again when I would come home discouraged. You
From
know?
working with me all day.
From working
Yeah.
with you all day.
It happens.
She still does.
It happens,
No.
folks.
But
He's
that's
not
one,
as great as he looks. Yeah.
but that's one of the
Right,
things that she would always
right,
say.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
be faithful where the Lord has you. And the days when I was reminded of that, either through her or just, you know, reminding myself of that, I could work
Right.
with joy, you know, and I could work hard. You know, I could focus on what I needed to do and be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to be faithful where the Lord has me, and I'm just going to work my butt off right
thank
now.
you.
You're welcome.
You know?
But that even happened like
Yeah.
when we moved up here. I never wanted to go and work for my parents. Like, that was never in you know, the scope of anything. You know, and it was in a medical field, which like, I have no interest in the medical field, you know, to work in it in that way. But I needed the job, you know. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do my job well, you know, to the best of my ability, you know. And even in that, I was still able to find joy, not because I was doing what I loved, but because I was just doing it under the Lord, or at least trying to every single day, but also fulfilling what I was created to do, and that was to work and to work hard.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think in those times when we're doing something that we really we're not thrilled about, and we're not in love with doing, we can also do it knowing that this right now is helping provide for my family.
Yeah.
You know, as you're out there weed eating 8 hours a day in 110 degrees and 100% humidity, and it's really a blast. But, you know, I can take and take to heart that, hey, I'm doing this because right now this is helping provide for my family. Right. Working at wherever that I don't feel like I probably am called to work for the rest of my life. Right. But I know that right now I'm gonna be thankful. Sure. Right. And appreciative that, hey, right now this is what's helping provide for my family.
Right. Right.
You know, and and also that's a part of the calling to work hard to get it done. Yep. To be able to provide for my family.
Exactly.
You know?
And I believe too, and maybe we'll wrap up with this. Like, when we are, again, regardless of the season, right? When we are doing the things that God has created us to do, working hard, working under the Lord and not unto men, you know, there's a satisfaction, obviously, that comes from that labor, you know, whatever that may look like, whether you're looking back on what you just accomplished for that day, or the satisfaction of, all right, I was faithful with what with where God has put me to do what He's told me to do right now, or whether the satisfaction is, hey, here's the paycheck, we can go get groceries, or I can pay that bill, or I can send my kids to school, or, you know, whatever. When we're living with that mindset and that type of work ethic, I think what Solomon says in Ecclesiastes chapter 5 comes into play, you know. And in verse 12 of Ecclesiastes 5, he says, "Sweet is the sleep of a laborer, whether he eats little or much." You know, it's like when you're working hard, like when you have that work ethic, when you're taking the initiative, not procrastinating, not being lazy, but focusing on what God has got you to do, right? And you're pouring yourself into that because you want to be faithful, because you want to please Him through how hard you're working, right? Solomon's like, well, then you can sleep well at night. Like, you can put your head on the pillow, and the sleep that you have is sweet. You know, one, probably because you're like, I'm exhausted. And this feels really good. But you can sleep well because you can sleep knowing that you've put everything out there. Yeah. You know, like you did your best today. Yes. You worked hard. Did you get everything accomplished on your list? Maybe not.
No, but what you did accomplish, you did well.
Exactly.
And you worked hard at it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think, you know, talking before we had this, we have our plans for the day, and there's days where you get everything done on your list.
Right.
And then there's days where you don't even get to look at your list because of everything else that took place, But you can still, at the end of the day, sleep sweet, right? Because you're like, Lord, I had my plans, but you had different plans for me today. This is the day that you made for me. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. And I'm going to face whatever it is that you bring my way today. So that at the end of the day, regardless of what my to-do list looks like, I've just tried to be faithful to what you have opened the door for me to do.
Right. That's great.
And now I can sleep well.
Right. I think adding to that, and it's just a little funny, is I think my wife would say, you snored well.
Usually if you're snoring,
yes,
that means you've been working hard and
like
you're
if
tired.
the entire house is shaking, boy, he must have worked hard today.
So at the end of the day, regardless of what season you're in, stop and consider the ant.
Yes, and how hard they work.